This podcast is sponsored by the Hubbell Difference Foundation.
Okay, I'm Harvey Hubbell. This is Harvey Hubbell's Show and Tell, but today it's Harvey Hubbell's Kiss and Tell because it's Valentine's Day. This is not a neuroscientist, this is my wife, Stephanie Weaver. How are you?
Good. You're not going to kiss and tell, are you?
Well, no, you're going to. Wait till you see today.
Wait till I hear the questions.
Yeah, no. Well, okay. I mean, I know this is kind of awkward because, well, we're doing this because it's Valentine's Day and you're the best decision I ever made in my life. So, it's really dumb, but I'm going to ask you how we met.
Well, you would say that I walked through your set and ignored you.
That's
but
true.
I do not remember that because
no.
I was on the way to Waterbury Court and you were hanging out on a lawn in the library. So that's not how I knew we met.
We were on a break. We weren't hanging out.
Okay.
But tell them that you're an attorney so they don't think you're a convict.
Yeah, I'm an attorney and I do a lot of litigation, and I was on my way to Waterbury Court and I'm always 2 minutes before I'm supposed to be there going through the door, so I was on a mission. But that's not how I know that we met. How I know we met was I went on a horseback riding trip to Northern California, and it was it was an endurance horseback riding trip. So I was learning it and I was terrified but game, and it worked. So it was very cool, and I posted a GoPro picture movie thing, and you contacted me on Messenger on Facebook and asked if you could talk to me about it. So I give you the phone number, and one day I get this unknown phone number calling my cell phone, and I pick it up, and all I hear are 64 clucking chickens. So I say, hello, and I hear a voice that says, oh, sorry, I'm just putting my chickens to bed. And that was the beginning of an hour and a half of Mr. Toad's Wild Ride. And you hung up, and I looked at my phone receiver and said, I hope he calls back. And that's how we met. So.
Actually, that's her story. So I was locked up under the Litchfield courthouse.
Right, in the cage.
It was in the cage. It was a Friday night.
Yeah.
The door opens up. And the light comes on, and you come down with the jail guy, with the keys on there. And you came down, and you're wearing high heels and a black dress and you have pearls. And you walked by everybody in the cage, and you said, I'll take that one.
And this is why your audience will know that I am never bored with you.
Why do you smile all the time? Why are you so happy?
Well, I don't smile all the time, but I can say that because I've always been in litigation and I'm on my 37th year, you have to have a sense of humor about cases because it would drive you nuts. It would drive you nuts. So I find the things to laugh about, and I have a great staff at the office, and so that makes it very bearable. And I am happy.
Well, we're blessed. We have a pretty good life.
We have a great life. We have a great life.
I didn't have a great life before I met you, though.
You know what they said? Let's see. People who have health wish for 1,000 things. People that don't have their health wish for only one thing. So, thank God. Thank God.
Tell us about your first date and how you came back, strangely came back to the house, and it was all...
Oh, yeah. Well, I have to set the scene so that the audience knows a little bit. But Harvey he was living in a house on this road, and he had an opportunity to buy the next house. And I didn't know that at all. So I think it was our second day. He says, why don't you meet me at the house and we can go to the restaurant together? And I thought that was nice. So I go to what was his home, his address that he gave me. And he had a fire going. It was great because it was cold. And so you hit it right on that. And we went to the restaurant, and then we're coming back, and he says, oh, I want to show you something. Now, I don't know him yet. So he drives by the driveway to his home, and he turns into the next driveway and starts going up this long driveway. I said, where are we going? And he said, to my house. And I said, but we were at your house. And he said, yes. So we drive up. It's a completely vacant home. I mean, it's dark, but when you open the door, all this music was playing. And what I didn't know was he likes to play music even when he's not places. I think he thinks it adds to the karma or something. So I walk down this long hall and I look in the right room, the first room, and there's nothing there but a chair and 1,000 books like piled all over it. And then I walk a little bit down, I look into another room, and there's nothing there but a chair and 100 CDs. And so I was creeped out. So I decided this is just too creepy for me. So I made my exit pretty quickly. And the next day, you sent me a whole bunch of, one at a time, little texts about you hoped I was okay and was everything okay. And I didn't say anything because I'd already decided I'd washed my hands of you. And but you were nice. You weren't creepy. You just said just enough text that I was okay. And then you said, I hope we can see each other again. And I thought, you know what? Let me put you on my turf. So I said, look, I'm going hiking tomorrow. And if you want to join me, you can join me. And you said, I'm there. And I said, you can bring the dogs. And you did. You brought your dogs. And we did this very steep hike, and we had a great time, and you were normal, as much as you can be normal. And that was it. I thought, okay, all right, I guess I must have gotten the wrong impression. So you sealed the deal there.
And at that point, you didn't know he was dyslexic, right?
No, I didn't know he was dyslexic, but there was something very quickly that I didn't know, but actually before we met, we were chatting via text, and so I guess what he meant to say, now I know, he does voice to text on his phone, and he says, Stephanie Weaver, I admire you. And I'm in front of my fire, and I hear this ding on my phone, and I pick it up, and it says, Stephanie Weaver, I'd marry you. And then you see the bubbles, the bubbles are going because you know something. And I get this, no. I meant something else. So that was pretty funny.
I was Litchfield County's most eligible bachelor until that.
Yeah, well, I didn't know that. I didn't know that, but you were. Yeah. I saw the magazine later.
Seems like a very sweet courtship. There was another story you told me where you were going to go on a trip with your friends and he'd arranged a car for you.
Yeah, because it was just, I think that was the winter. I just was trial after trial after trial. And I was going through a pretty horrible trial. In fact, we were losing very heavily, and there was nothing I could do. I was along for the ride, so it was just terrible. Anyway, I joined the ski club, and I was scheduled to go on a ski trip, and I lost my ride to the airport because my friends needed to go sooner. So I'm thinking, I'm so tired, and I got to drive down to, I don't know whether it was JFK. Yeah. And you said, let me arrange for some transportation, please. Just let me.
I wasn't going to see you for a couple of weeks.
I know. And I was like, good. Yes. Great. That would be great. Thank you. So you said, but there's little strings. And first the car was going to pick me up and deliver me to a restaurant in Waterbury. And then we were going to have lunch, and then it was going to carry me to, But that was great because...
Nicky's, Waterbury, Connecticut.
Yeah, because I could just forget about what I needed to get done. It was being taken care of for me, and that was just such a gift. And the other kind of cool thing about that trip was I was 6 hours behind you in terms of the time, because I was in Europe. And So I got back from the ski slopes around 4 o'clock, and we always ate dinner pretty early. And then I'm not a night girl, so my friends would go out for the evening, and I would stay behind. And you would call, and you at that time were a night guy, so we would talk for a couple hours almost every night, and really got to know each other. So that was really nice. And when I came back, I guess it had made an impression because you showed up with the car, waiting, and we knew about it. So all the people on the ski trip were like, everybody was coming through the security and baggage and looking to see who this person was. So it was like there was 65 heads looking at Harvey when you showed up with your flowers and your chocolate and your wine, and it was a really nice, and a book. I think the book was the best, because he gave me a book and there was like many, many little tabs in it. And the cover said 1,001 places to go before you die. And he said, pick. And I thought, oh, this is nice. And I love to travel. So, to have that in common, that we both like to travel, is really nice. So I do enjoy that part of life.
I like traveling. I like traveling with these guys, but I like traveling without these guys. So, for those people who know me with these guys, sometimes I travel with.
Yeah. That's your other family. Yeah.
So, can I ask both of you this question? What do you admire about each other?
You go first.
Well, the funny thing is that I love your brain. It's a very different brain from mine. We ask you a question and you go here, and then you go there, and then you go there, and then you go there. And eventually we get back to what, but in the meantime, we've touched on 20 other topics, but you've got your brain is very interesting. You don't bore me at all. And that is good. And so I like that about you. I also like that you get things done. There are a lot of people that talk about, getting things, wanting to do things, or if they only had a chance, they would do things. And you implement things. So you decide what you're going to do and you implement it. So I like that.
I'm a doer.
You're a doer.
I'm a doer. I'm a getter-doner.
Yep. And then we had the books in common, because we both are readers and read a lot.
So actually, I went to her house, like first date, second date time. I go to her house. I go to the library. And she's waiting to get come out from her room. And there's this library in a fireplace room at her house. And I looked at all these books, and I was like, I'm looking at them all. When she came out, I said, I have that one, I have that one, I have that one, I have that one. We have the same books. But they're not just any books; they're the same editions, because you were raised with your grandparents' influence, and so a lot of the books that came out, the same editions of Treasure Island and Kidnapped and all of these books. So I think that was like a big foundation for us.
Right.
So as different as we are, you're a linear thinker. I'm a nonlinear thinker.
Yeah.
We're both lifelong learners.
Mm-hmm. You have a lot of energy. I have a lot of energy.
You have a lot of energy. We both like good food, growing food, healthy food.
Yep. You grow it. I cook it.
That's true.
We eat it.
So it's good stuff. And there's so much to
outdoors.
Learn. Outdoors and lifelong learning. So those are the kind of things. And we met each other late in life.
Yeah. And that was good, because I think, late in life, you figure out what you need, what you don't need. You kind of lose some of this. I think you just get more confident in yourself, and you realize, I don't need somebody to give me that or that or that or that. That's not what I need. So I think we figured that part out.
Well, I was also really dumb when I was young. And I'm sorry for the people who I drove crazy, but I'm also, I made dumb mistakes. I did dumb things, but that's how I learned, that's what you learn when you get older. You do. And so, we just we lived pretty close to each other. And
although, right. I mean, I grew up in Litchfield. I work in Litchfield. I wasn't living in Litchfield at the time. I was 20 minutes out, but, we didn't have to really move our life. We just had to organize their
adjust.
calendars.
Yeah.
That was the big part.
Oh, yeah.
Was
So
the calendars.
the big thing was one day, because she travels a lot, I travel a lot, and you were upset, you were crying a little bit, and you were saying,
I was crying a lot.
you were saying,
like, I can't.
we're never going to get together.
Right. I mean, it's like, can you do
And I
this?
said,
No. Can I do this?
Okay,
No.
so you guys know my obsessions with calendars. You know my obsession with calendars. That's how I get things done. You know, so that's how I get things done. And so my obsession with calendars. So I'm like, wait, don't cry. It's like, all we have to do is, you have a calendar? Yes, I have a calendar. Like, what are you doing next Sunday? I'm doing something. What are you doing? Like, what are you doing? Like 2 Sundays from? No, it's like, I'm not doing nothing either. We can do something together. And then it was like, then we figured out.
And then we start tracking the battleships. Yeah.
And that's what we do nowadays. We put our calendars together.
Yep.
And we look and we plan it out, just like I do with everybody. Like, I figure out what I'm doing a month from now, 3 months from now, a year from now. We're working on next year already. And it's the beginning of this year.
Yep, that's true.
Another question for you. What drives you crazy about Stephanie? What does she do that drives you crazy?
It doesn't really drive me crazy. I know, because we're getting on the, we've known each other for like 7 years now. So it's one of the kind of things, this doesn't drive me crazy, because really nothing drives me crazy about Stephanie. But I can say something, I'll say like, I got to go over to such and such and do this and do that and do this and do that. She goes, It's like, you didn't hear anything I said.
Yeah, I have to tune you out a bit.
And then because you know, I voice text everybody all the time. And so when I'm saying stuff, you're agreeing, like, oh, okay, no, I'm not talking to you, and I can't even say anything because I was saying it here on my thing.
That's right,
but,
yeah.
It's just idiosyncrasies. It doesn't necessarily. I've been driven crazy before in my life, so I've been driven crazy before. So no, I think this is a reprieve. I think this is like a good karma.
Yeah.
I don't think actually. No, you're just you, and I'm just me. You know what? And I should be putting words in your mouth, but one of the things you said was like, you know, like I allow you to do what you want to do.
You really do. I mean,
you allow me to do what I want to do, and so we just, so every night it's like, and our dogs. We have 5 dogs.
We do,
and we don't. The dogs aren't forced to live here. Everybody just comes home naturally every night to this place. You know that? That's a working thing. Just so you know that's the Valentine's Day thing. Is like if everybody comes home and sleeps there normally, that means you're supposed to be there. All 5 dogs sleep with us. We all come in and we sleep in the same room. Everything's cool.
This is my chance to say what drives me crazy about you. No, one of the things is pretty hilarious about you is that you just have so many ideas and you have just so much on your mind. And sleeping with you is a little taxing because you pop up and you say, da, 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 and I say, da, da, da. And then I think we're done. And he's like, da, 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 da. And so very early on, I learned to take your sweet little face and say, Harvey, go to bed. But the funny thing about you is you go to sleep so fast. So you go, oh.
I don't want to waste time. I don't think people should waste time.
I'm going to throw out some words and you give me your first reaction.
Okay.
I'm good at that.
Dogs.
Family.
Sheet stealing son of a gunner.
Did you hear that?
Family.
Dogs.
No, we have a big family. We have an extended family.
We have the craziest.
We have friend families.
We have. We have
as well as family.
Well, we have friend families. We have people we've worked with and been involved with our whole life,
families.
which are that. But our biological families of how much marriage and intermarriage was done in the 1960s and who had who and how many kids and step families and stuff. We have a large family. But I mean, just as much as these guys are my family is
right.
And I don't want to get a knife in my back. The family, my biological family is my family too. But I mean, there's so bloody many of us.
There is.
I mean, my family alone. We've been here for 400 years. There's 4,000 people.
Right.
And we've even had some reunions at the farm.
Right.
Not all 4,000 of them, but a lot of people. Then I grew up with my sisters. There's family. Family's great.
Yep. Yeah. And I've got a lot of people I've brought your way, family-wise too. And the nice thing is that you treat them just like they are your family. So I love that.
You know, I got to just say something too, just because like I've had relationships before, and I knew one person who I knew a person I had a relationship with, and I was waiting to meet her friends, and I never met her friends. She never had any friends. But then, like, so when Stephanie decides that she wanted to be
That's
like
right.
a relationship with me,
Then I was like, okay, then you're gonna meet my friends.
well, first of all, she said to me, she goes, okay, if we do this, because it's like marrying an attorney, you know. She's like, okay, if we do this, you have to have an exclusive relationship. I'm like, okay, done, easy. So I'm like, do you know what it's like dating out there? So it's like, okay, that's easy, that's done. I called up everybody. I called up like the attorneys, the accountants, like, hey, I'm in an exclusive relationship. They're like, what? With who?
Divorce lawyer.
Divorce lawyer. So, yeah. So,
Litigation lawyer.
yeah, that was that. So, yeah, I mean, I think friends, family, all important. But you made a special day to introduce me to all your friends, and this person does such and such, and she climbs ice mountains. And this one,
the ice princess.
they ride bicycles, and they do bicycles, and they're very good. I call him the shepherd. And then it's such and such. These people ski. They really it's like, okay, you don't have to take notes on all this stuff.
Yeah. We have active friends.
We have active friends.
Yep. So that's good. And then you've got the whole film world, and I'm learning that little by little.
Yep.
So that's kind of cool. Yeah.
Freedom.
Well,
just another word for nothing left to lose.
I think it's the way we live right now. You know, I'm self-employed. You're self-employed. We have the freedom to choose our clients. You know, for the most part, our customers, and you know, I work as hard as I want to. I think I work hard, but I'm doing what I want. And you know, we all are impacted by our choices. You know, there's things you have to get done because of what you've chosen in life, but I chose it. So that's freedom. Yeah.
Well, it's interesting too, because in your freedom, like since we've been married and lived together in the same place, like the dogs, when the dogs go to work with Stephanie,
These do.
some of the dogs do. Some dogs
That one goes to work with you.
That dog goes to work with me. Some dogs stay in the farm,
Yep.
at this part of the farm. And so the dogs, when you started walking, when you would get going in the old days, you were like determined and you had to go off and you had a million cases. But, you know, we're getting older and we want to do more things. We're traveling
We
more.
do.
And
We do.
And we do less. So, I mean, I could stay on the farm all day long. But ultimately, I think we both have enough freedom to do our own stuff. And then don't forget, mentioned calendars. We look at it and then we're like, hey, you want to go to such and such? Let's go to such and such. And even though, you know, talk about freedom, because we're self-employed and we got great guys like this that we work with who take care of operations and stuff like that. That when we're going down to Baker's Creek for the seed festival, your niece is graduating 237 miles away.
I know. So we can kind of
like
click
3 days,
it together.
2 days later, so we clip it through and we can get to travel through.
And I don't think I could have done that, you know, pre-COVID, but court work has changed. I've changed my practice, so we can now link some things together to do together, which is great.
That's also because we're lifelong learners, which is another thing I admire about you. And so I'm constantly learning, like, the things I don't like doing, and I just start doing anyhow. Not all of them, because I don't like doing some of them.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, the other day I was like, okay, because I'm learning AI and the internet and all this stuff, like all this technology stuff. I mean, I still can't spell worth a dime, but you know, I'm at the supermarket. I'm trying to be a cool guy. I'm gonna scrape out my own stuff, you know, like a regular guy.
Yeah.
And then I have to do each of these individuals. It's ridiculously stupid. But anyway, I still try things. I try a lot of different things.
You do.
I used to eat. I didn't like vegetables, new guy. And I eat vegetables now all the time.
Wait, you're talking about the new guy. I thought it was Jordan that didn't like vegetables.
He doesn't. I've been working on him for 8 years on vegetables. We're slowly getting him in.
We're getting him? Yeah.
But that's like,
that's important.
your taste buds change. And it's important for your what's it called right here?
Your microbiome.
Microbiome. I call it a microflorum. Microbiome.
Well,
she's on dyslexic. She's my
compensating mechanism.
Yeah, there she is.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So the last speed round question phrase is Harvey and Stephanie.
Together?
Yeah, what comes to mind?
For me, I think we can get a lot done because I trust what he's doing. You know, there's things he's great at, and there's things I'm great at, and he's not great at. So I just know that when we've got a job to do, I know you're doing the things. I don't even have to think about you or getting those parts done. So it feels like we're equally yoked. It really does. Yeah.
Yeah, different but equal on what we do, and we know what we do. And yeah, Harvey and Stephanie, yeah, it's like the love of my life, and it's just like I sleep with my best friend every night. We just hang out, and that's not man's best friend because the dogs I could use like a couple less dogs in the house.
Although I have to say, I think everybody is your best friend. So
I have a lot of best friends.
you do.
I'm a friendly guy.
Yeah. But, you know, the other thing about Harvey and Stephanie is, you know, he does a lot of things I don't do. And that's great because I've got all these plans of things I want to get done. And that's okay, too. So it's nice that I can, you know, plan something crazy and you're fine with it because you've got your own things to do.
So going back in the backstory of the story is when we first got together, we had a house. And we had no history in the house and no furniture or anything. So we just started moving stuff in. And
Yeah, we came to this house together. Yeah. That was cool because then we could kind of, and I thought it was a crazy house.
It was a crazy house when we first moved in.
It was, but little by little, we're making it our own.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's life. But that's how we do life. So.
Yeah, that's how we do life.
Could you tell us what's next for you guys and give some advice to people who might be going through a hard time finding somebody or in a relationship that maybe is working, like your longevity, and give some advice to other couples who want the same thing. They see you guys and think relationship goals.
Yeah. Well, I guess what I would say is I have got a very regimented life. So, you know, I've got my workouts in the morning and I go to court and I've got certain friends and I've got to see them and I've got to take care of this and that. But I was 20 years in a more or less single life. And I had to get out of I had to try something new, like that horseback riding thing. So I think you don't meet people unless you get out of your normal channels, because you know everybody in your channels, right? So that was good. And then I think the other thing is make sure you are happy with yourself first. You know, if you can't, like the phrase "you complete me" is terrible because you really got to be happy with yourself before you can add somebody. Otherwise, you're just putting pressure on your new relationship to fulfill something, and that's not what they're there for. So that's me.
I think it's consciousness. I really do think it's consciousness, and I think it's lifelong learning. And I think we start off as one thing. I mean, I can remember being 5 years old. I can remember being like 4 years old. I can remember growing up in my hometown, playing in the creek and doing all those kind of things, and you know, just being barefoot, hanging out, getting stung by bees, and all that stuff of just trying to figure out, just wiring in all the neurons, just wiring in, like, who am I? I'm a human. You know, eating an apple. So we got, now we're old enough we can grow apple trees. You know,
honey, the question.
I'm going on, but this is a backstory.
Okay, all right, I'm waiting.
So I'm saying that we build who we are.
Yep.
As we are, and so you said you got to be happy with yourself.
Yep.
First, you got to build yourself.
That's true. You have to build yourself.
So, you know, if you're waiting for somebody to come in and make your life completely different, I mean, that's why I think we have the freedom of where we're separate people doing our.
And the cool thing about, just to riff off that, is even though you're complete in of yourself, by meeting somebody else, you really have to be flexible too. You have to be able to change. You know, your life isn't going to stay the same when you hook up with somebody. So you've got to be soft around your corners to kind of accommodate what they are. And then you go on these adventures you never would have gone on. I mean, I wouldn't be going to the Baker Seed Catalog Festival without you, Harvey.
Really?
It wasn't really on my.
It's a pretty
It wasn't.
place to
I
go.
know. I can tell that now, but it wouldn't have been something that I would go to if I hadn't met you. So.
Well, you know, like they say, we're all only angels with one wing.
No, that's not the I complete you thing.
No,
or is that half angel, half devil?
I don't know, but I think people, you know, there's in quantum mechanics there could be any different ways, and you can meet any kind of different people and grow into any kind of different thing. But finding each other and respecting each other, liking each other, and living a way that makes you happy is certainly the answer to it.
Yep.
And that's good. That's karmatic law as well. And you know, you're right. You got to get out there and meet people who are doing things that you want to do.
Yeah, just to say, in addition, that what you are, you attract others that are just like that, and what you are the sum of the 5 people that you hang out with the most. You know, that's kind of an interesting thing, because then you think about, okay, who are the 5 people I hang out with the most?
Dogs.
Is this what I want to be? Or maybe I ought to mix the composition up a little bit. So
Also our spiritual belief is we believe in the same thing, except like our
words.
Our words are different, and maybe what so you were a deacon at a church when I met you.
Yeah.
A Christian church, and I'm a happy, just run-of-the-mill country pagan. And so our gods are like the same.
They're the same. I just say God and you say universe. I think.
And she dresses differently than your Bedouin your Bedouin guy. But you know, we got the same Bedouin sandals going on. The robes, that works out too. But you know, I mean, I just think it's the same thing. It's like, you know, you focus your energy, you're out there, you're working on the farm, you're working out in different things, and it's a belief that there's more to the world than what's happening. Not sure what it is, but you know, positive goodness is all important. Yeah,
she asked what was on our agenda up ahead. What do you have
what's on our agenda?
Yeah, what's on our agenda in the future?
When we wrap this scene, we're going to take these guys in. We're going to put cameras in the other room and set them up. And we're going to.
But do you have any long range thing that we're doing?
Long range thing? We got a bunch of things.
I know we do. We do.
We're always doing long range things. I don't even know what we got going for. Like, well, you know, we're going to do that religious walk in Spain.
Not this year, but
not this year. See, that's a long range plan.
Yeah.
It's amazing I get along with her. But why don't we talk about long range plans? Then we got a bunch of stuff we're doing this year as well, and
around on the farm. Yeah, we've got some changes
on the farm,
here.
We always talk about what we're doing on the farm. We got production calendars for what we're doing in production. We have production calendars on the farm. We have, and we can't mention that talking about Stephanie and Harvey's relationship without talking about the RV.
Oh, the Harvey RV. Yeah. So a couple years ago, we got an RV, and I've got the camping in my background. And
I used to live in a truck.
You used to live in a van, yes, when you were very, very young.
Down by the river.
Swamp.
I was a swamp. She went in bed, I saw it.
But we do like that because that's our love of travel. You were always podcasting no matter where you go, so that's kind of fun. And we do the research to find out where we're going, and we just go to a place and then we say, okay, what's around us? Yeah. And we have snacks, a potty, and the dogs.
We have the potty, which is
so good.
You're waiting, and you're just sitting out there, and you're having wine and crackers.
Remember we went to the restaurant and they couldn't take us for an hour, so we did hors d'oeuvres in the van.
I know.
That was great. That was great.
But it is strange that, and I love you, Stephanie. There's a couple different things. Like, I love you very much, but we go to Kmart or... No,
it was Walmart, and we said, can we eat healthy here?
Well, yeah, we did.
We could slept overnight, and that's
we always
fun.
Sleep in Walmart
that's very fun.
You can find us sleeping in a Walmart parking lot.
It's nice. It is.
We ate healthy. We went there to see if we could eat healthy, and we did.
Yep.
And it was very good.
It was. Yeah. We found plenty to eat in Walmart. So,
unless you want to say anything else, we have a surprise for Stephanie, so she has to close her eyes.
Well, I want to say one thing.
I like surprises.
I want to say this is the second season. We do things differently. We're going to do a whole bunch of different things. We're going to go to all kinds of different locations, and we're going to be talking to all kinds of different people. Not that I don't like neuroscientists. I love neuroscientists and researchers, but I love my wife a lot, and all those other.
I hope we're going to be doing some podcasting from the Harvey RV.
We'll probably do, but then they got to come with us.
And and maybe you can get on a horse with me.
Yeah, I can get on a horse.
That would be fun.
Yeah, that'll be a lot of fun. So it's going to be second season. It's going to be so much fun. Not that first season, and you should check out first season. First season was a lot of fun too. It's just kind of different of how we do things, and we have new stuff coming out all the time. So expect the unexpected.
Change is good.
Change is good. Change is good for you. And so is vegetables. Don't forget to eat your vegetables. We'll buy them from local farms for crying out loud.
But wait, I heard I had a surprise.
Yeah. Close your eyes.
Yeah, close your eyes.
Okay, closing.
Oh yeah, but she cheats because she's.
I do a little, only a little.
Yeah.
Oh, is it? It sounds like there's tissue paper. So is it the same roses I got coming off the plane from my ski trip?
It's a candy bar.
Oh no, it can't be.
It's a candy bar.
Can I see?
Yes.
Aww. Were they red?
They were red.